Supreme Court's landmark ruling, a turning point in U.S. immigration policy. What if I told you that one single Supreme Court decision could change how millions of immigrants are treated in the United States? This isn't speculation, it's happening right now. A new ruling has just reshaped the way immigration laws are enforced, and it may affect families, workers, and communities across the nation. A historic moment in immigration law. Today, we are witnessing a historic turning point in the world of U.S. immigration policy. The Supreme Court of the United States has issued a landmark ruling that legal experts, attorneys, and families alike are calling a true game-changer. This is not just about technical details, it's about the future of how immigration is enforced and the lives of millions who are touched by it. Understanding the case background. To understand why this ruling matters so much, we need to look back at the case that reached the court. At the heart of the issue was a simple but powerful question: who has the authority to decide how immigration laws are enforced? Should every undocumented immigrant be treated the same way? Or should the federal government have discretion to prioritize enforcement, focusing on those who pose greater risks to society? The core of the Supreme Court decision. In a 6-3 decision, the court ruled that the federal government does indeed have the authority to set its own enforcement priorities. However, there's an important condition: constitutional protections must always be respected. That means due process, accountability, and fair hearings cannot be ignored, no matter what enforcement strategy is adopted. What this means for enforcement. The ruling makes it clear that immigration enforcement cannot simply be about mass removals. Instead, resources should be directed toward high-risk individuals, those who commit serious crimes or pose threats to national security. Families who have lived peacefully for decades, with children born in the United States, should not be the first targets. This sets a new standard for balancing fairness with security. Immediate ripple effects. This decision has already started to create ripple effects across the system. Deportations that used to be fast-tracked may now require more careful review. Individuals in removal proceedings will still face hearings, but agencies must ensure that due process rights are respected. Immigration judges, attorneys, and advocacy groups are bracing for a wave of changes in how cases are handled. Short-term adjustments in the system. It's important to understand that while the decision is powerful, changes won't happen overnight. Immigration agencies will need to rewrite policies, retrain officers, and update procedures. That could take weeks or months. In the meantime, some deportations may slow down, and cases that were previously rushed could see delays as the system recalibrates. The role of deferred action. Another critical piece of this ruling relates to deferred action programs such as DACA. While not the central focus of the case, the court affirmed that the federal government has the discretion to manage such programs. This does not expand protections automatically, but it strengthens the government's ability to maintain programs that shield certain groups from deportation, as long as they are implemented within proper legal frameworks. What the decision does not do. With major rulings like this, misinformation spreads quickly. Let's be clear, this decision does not grant automatic legal status to undocumented immigrants. It does not change green card quotas, visa eligibility, or the process of applying for citizenship. Deportations will continue, but they must follow constitutional standards. What the court reinforced is the principle that fairness and accountability must guide immigration enforcement. Public reaction across the country. As expected, the ruling has sparked intense debate. Advocacy groups are calling it a victory for civil rights, celebrating the recognition that immigrants deserve fair treatment. Families see hope that they won't be torn apart unfairly. On the other hand, critics warn that the decision could slow down enforcement and create legal complications. But whether celebrated or criticized, everyone agrees it's a ruling that will shape immigration for years to come. Why reform is still needed. Even though this decision is groundbreaking, it does not solve the deeper issues within the U.S. immigration system. Outdated laws, years-long backlogs, and unclear pathways to legal status continue to frustrate millions. This case highlights the urgent need for Congress to act. Without comprehensive reform, even landmark rulings can only do so much. What comes next? Looking ahead, Immigration agencies will begin aligning their policies with the court's decision. That will likely create a period of confusion and slower case processing. Meanwhile, Congress may face new pressure to pass legislation that brings consistency and fairness to immigration law. Expect the debate around immigration to grow louder, more urgent, and more politically charged in the coming months. What you should do now. If you or your family are currently affected by immigration proceedings, there are crucial steps to take. Stay fully updated on all new developments. Keep your documents, records, and addresses current. Attend every hearing and appointment without fail. Most importantly, consult with a licensed immigration attorney about your specific case. Do not rely on rumors or unverified advice. The stakes are simply too high. Enforcement priorities. The government can legally prioritize dangerous individuals over peaceful families. Due process protections. Every person, even undocumented immigrants, must receive fair hearings. Deferred action programs, DACA, and similar initiatives have firmer legal standing. Impact on deportations. Fast-tracked removals will face stricter oversight. System adjustments. Agencies will need to rewrite rules and retrain staff, delaying some actions. What makes this ruling even more significant is how it may influence state-level policies. In recent years, several states have tried to implement their own strict immigration measures, often clashing with federal priorities. By reaffirming federal authority, the Supreme Court has effectively limited states from pursuing independent enforcement strategies that conflict with national policy. This could reduce legal battles between states and the federal government, creating a more unified approach moving forward. Final thoughts. This Supreme Court ruling is historic. It does not fix every flaw in the system, but it restores a sense of fairness and constitutional accountability. It gives hope to millions of families while still ensuring that real threats to public safety remain the priority. If this video helped you understand what's happening, please subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss a critical update. Share this video with your community, especially with anyone applying for immigration benefits. Knowledge is power, and staying informed is the first step in protecting your future. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next update. This Supreme Court ruling is historic. It does not fix every flaw in the system, but it restores a sense of fairness and constitutional accountability. It gives hope to millions of families while still ensuring that real threats to public safety remain the priority.